Hi, friends. It's Natalie. I'm glad you're here on the podcast with me today. In this episode, I sit down with Shelly Lefkoe, co-founder of the Lefkoe Institute, international keynote speaker and author. Shelly has helped thousands of people worldwide transform their lives by uncovering and eliminating core beliefs that keep us stuck, anxious, and not living up to our full potential, from why we procrastinate to why putting ourselves on the back burner feels safer than standing up or striving for more. Shelly breaks it all down in a way that is very relatable and really life-changing. You're even going to get a chance to try her technique for identifying your own limiting beliefs right alongside us. If you've ever wondered why you can't seem to stick to new habits, or maybe why you care a little bit too much about what other people think, Shelly's insights will make you rethink everything you thought you knew about your mind and inspire you to start watering all the plants in your life, not just that career plant. So get ready. This episode is packed with aha moments that you're going to want to tell your friends about. And don't forget, if you find the episode helpful, hit the subscribe button so you never miss a show. And for more resources, some wellness tips, and inspiring stories like this one, you can get them every single week in my newsletter by going to natalietysdal.com/newsletter. Let's get started today. Shelly, it's so nice to have you on the show.
Oh, it's wonderful to be here. I love your podcast, and I hope everybody goes and gives you 5 stars because it makes a difference, and you're just bringing so much great value to people. They should know about it.
Well, I appreciate you saying that very much. So when I talk to women about their health, and really why I do this podcast is to help women feel better, not only physically, but mentally, in setting goals, in getting past those difficult things. And I know you work deeply with a lot of thousands of people on getting past limiting beliefs. What does that mean?
So underlying basically every pattern, and by a pattern, I mean a behavior or an emotion that you don't want in your life. So a behavioral pattern would be not taking care of yourself, procrastination, not speaking up for yourself, getting and staying in lousy relationships,
Yeah.
not taking care of all the areas of your life. I talk a lot about watering all the plants. And, if you had a lot of plants, and I notice you have a few back there, you would never water just one. So in our lives, we water our career plant to death, but our
Mm.
relationships are, dying.
I'm
And
gonna
they're
tell
not.
you that there's all these
Yeah.
plants behind me. If you're
Yeah.
watching on YouTube,
Yeah.
some people are just listening. I just last week, I was looking, I was watering, I'm like, "Oh, this poor little plant is so dry." I think I forgot. I mean, it was dry as a bone, so I took it to the sink, and I just, like, doused it in water hoping it's gonna survive. So it's so funny that you say this.
Yeah, that's funny. So you want all your plants, all the areas of your life vibrant,
Yeah.
and they're not usually. And underlying all of the behavioral patterns are behaviors that you don't want. Emotional patterns are anxiety. Walk around feeling anxious or depressed or with the feeling that something bad is going to happen. So what we do at the Lefkoe Institute is we help people quickly and permanently eliminate the beliefs that cause the problems. But I want to say one last thing. By a belief, I want to be very clear about my definitions, okay?
Mhm,
A
mhm.
belief is a statement about reality that we hold as the truth. That's what a
Okay.
belief is. So the beliefs
Mm.
cause the patterns. When you get rid of the beliefs, the patterns go away.
Okay, okay, let's go deep here right away. Do well,
You're
let's not
going to
waste
that
any
with
time.
me. Yeah.
Let's not waste any time. Do you think, as I'm listening to you say that, I question myself, and I think every woman listening is gonna be the same way. Do you think we know what those beliefs are in our lives?
Mostly
I
not.
listened to you and I thought, well, then what beliefs are
Yeah,
holding me back?
yeah,
Do, do we all know what's holding us back?
yeah. It's very funny. The last 3 podcasts I did, the podcast hosts became clients. Truly,
You have that effect on people. Oh boy.
truly.
You make us think
So,
about our
yeah.
beliefs.
So most most of our beliefs are unconscious. We
Mm,
have no idea that we have them. And if you listen to everybody, you know that little voice in your head that talks to you all day and says, "Oh, don't say it. It's stupid," or "They know
mm.
that," or "Oh, you could never do that," or you say, "I'm going to start a business," and that little voice goes, "Who are you to start a business?" Right?
But you
So
don't even know that voice is in your own head.
exactly. And when you
Yeah.
start listening to it,
Mm.
you're going to start becoming aware of what your beliefs are. So that's the first way to find out that you have beliefs. But you first have to know there's something that you want to change. And I spoke in the city last night at Parlay House for women, and we had we had a rip roaring time looking at and people got very couple of women got really triggered because they had never thought about their beliefs. And when I started talking about how many of you have things that you want to do in life, like Natalie, you went for it. You became a journalist and a newscaster, and you got there. But so many of us, and we're able to say, "I'm not happy," and walk away. And so many of us have beliefs like, and this is what we were talking about at the beginning before we came on. What makes me good enough is being famous or achieving things or
Mm.
having a lot of money. But underneath those beliefs are the beliefs that we call self-esteem beliefs. I'm not good enough. I'm not important. I'm not
Mm.
worthwhile. I don't matter. Um, so we have those beliefs, and I'll tell you a little bit later how they're formed. But we have these beliefs, and now we can't function with those beliefs. So we have what we
Mm.
call survival strategy beliefs. And those beliefs keep our beliefs underwater. So if you're
Mm.
watching, I have my fist in front of me, and that fist is, I'm not good enough. I'm not important. And now we have a belief what makes me good enough is achieving things or
Mm.
being famous or, everybody pleasing people, or taking care of people. Whatever yours is going to keep the core beliefs underwater. But the
Yeah.
behavior is now driven. I have to do it because every time I stop, I'm not good enough is in my face, right?
Mm.
So, if you have any of those beliefs, what makes me good enough is achieving things. You're going to be working all the time. What makes me good enough is taking care of people. You're going to be a caretaker. Guess what? Your health is going to suffer because you're
Yeah.
not going to take care of you. Because see, if you have a belief, I'm not important, you're not going to take care of yourself.
Yeah.
Our
Yeah.
beliefs determine our behavior.
Yeah. But you
And
have to identify those beliefs. You just live life walking just kind of, as I like to say, in survival mode
yeah,
of, I got to make dinner and I got to go to work and I have to work out. And you just don't stop long enough to identify what your beliefs are and why they're holding you back.
yes. And if you think about your life, you guys or ladies, I want you to think about this. When you get to the end of your life, do you want to turn around and go, eh? Or do you want to turn around and go,
Yeah.
holy shit, that was awesome? I came, I conquered, and I'm out of here.
Yeah.
You want your life to be vibrant. And so many of us, my friend Sam Horn always says, someday is not a day in the week. And so many of us say, someday, no, Monday, I'm going to go on a diet. Monday, I'm going to stop eating sugar, or I'm going to join the gym. And then you join the gym and then you don't go. I have a slide in my, Mark Hyman, my dear friend, did a in-person summit that I spoke at. I opened up the conference every morning, and we talked about. Uh, I have a slide in my presentation, and it shows the gym parking lot in January with all the cars in it, and then in February the parking lot is empty. You know, um,
Always.
yeah,
But never fails.
yeah,
The gyms make so much money off of the people who don't come.
yeah, yeah.
Why
So
do why do we do that?
we do that because we have beliefs that keep us from keeping commitments and promises to yourself. Most of you, if you make a promise to somebody, you're going to do it. But if you make a promise to yourself, you're not. And again, the most common beliefs that people have are I'm not good enough, I'm not important,
Mm,
right? Those are the two most common beliefs. So the belief that ran my life was what makes me good enough is having other people think well of me. So my
that's a common
focus,
one, is it?
very, very common. So my focus was on, am I wearing the right thing? Did I say the right thing? Did I ask about her hair or her mother? Or, that little voice in my head was very active. And I'd walk away from every conversation, does she like me? And was I invited? And if I wasn't invited to a party, it was a big deal. And when I got rid of that belief, and I'll talk about a little bit
Yeah.
how we do that. But when I got rid of that belief, Natalie, I swear, everybody listening, I was free. I call it my Martin Luther King Jr. moment
Mm,
because I was free at last. And what's really cool is, tell you a cute story. But wasn't so cute, but for those of you who are watching, I'm making a muscle, and you can see that I have very defined muscles because I weightlift. But I also have lost and gained a lot of weight. So I have these wings, right? Those chicken wings. But I like wearing sleeveless clothes. I just do. I like my shoulders. I feel comfortable.
mhm.
So normally I don't look at the comments because underneath my podcasts or my whatever I do, because I just don't have time. So I got a Google alert the other day, and there was me speaking in front of a crowd, and I didn't recognize it. So I clicked on it to see what it was, and I see all these comments, and I start reading them, and they're, oh, I love her. She's wonderful, great stuff. And then about the fifth or sixth one, someone with initials said, well, I'm glad she's confident enough to wear a sleeveless top.
Oh,
Now, as a
yeah, I wanna know how that
celebrity,
made you feel now versus before.
for those of you who saw Chorus Line,
Yeah.
and I felt nothing. Now, in
I
the
know the song,
past,
so yeah, yeah,
yeah, in the past, that would have put me
yeah,
away. I
yeah.
mean, for 3 days, I would have been, oh my God, I should never wear sleeveless. And what was I
Mm,
thinking? And it was not a blip on the radar. You know, it's just my focus is not on me. I'm good. I'm open to feedback. I thought about it. I said, nah, I like it. If enough people said that, I would probably stop doing it because I don't want it to be a distraction when I'm speaking.
mhm.
But if one person says it, so
Someone
what?
who didn't even care to have their name out there.
Exact.
Yeah,
Or for me to know, yeah,
yeah,
exactly. So,
yeah.
and I felt sad for that person that
Mm,
that's how they, it's like all the poor celebrities who deal with that every
Mm,
day of their lives. Oh,
mhm.
she's fat, and they saw her kissing or smoking or whatever the hell she was doing. So, my point in sharing this is there is a freedom to be my authentic self, and my life is about helping people be free. The mission of my company is to help people live as the unlimited possibility that they are.
Yeah.
So my focus needs to be on you, not me.
Yeah.
And it
Yeah.
is 100%. That's the freedom.
So first you have to identify that belief. That's
Mhm.
important. You said what yours was. And I imagine we have a lot of these beliefs, not just one. Is there one primary that holds you back, but you have
No,
others?
great question. So if I'm going to use I love metaphors, obviously. So you have a messy desk, and you don't want to have a messy desk, right? So everything on your desk is a belief, right? So I take my iPhone off the desk, I take my glasses off the desk, I take the water bottle off the desk. Now that area of the desk is clean, but I still have to take off everything on my desk to have a clean desk. So underlying, I'll give you a good example. Fear of public speaking. That's the only pattern where everybody has the same beliefs.
Mm,
So there's 9 beliefs and 3 what we call emotional conditioning, right? Fear of rejection, fear of not living up to an expectation, and fear of criticism and judgment. But there are 9 beliefs. I'm not good enough. I'm not important. Mistakes and failures are bad. If I make a mistake, I'll be rejected. What I have to say is not important. People aren't interested in what I have to say. And what makes me good enough is having other people think well of me. Sometimes I'm
mm.
not capable is in there. You get rid of those beliefs, you get rid of fear of public speaking. Beliefs like I've worked with people who got sick all the time. They had the belief, and I have to tell you how beliefs get formed so you'll have a
Yes,
context
that
for
was one of my next questions.
what I'm about to say.
Okay.
But people have the belief the way to get attention is to get sick, because when they were kids, that's
Mhm.
the only way they got attention. And when they get rid of that belief and others, they stop getting sick.
Mm,
Um, People who eat junk and sugar and all the things that we're not supposed to eat a lot of. And I'm not a Nazi about that. So, a little sugar, a little, gluten, a little whatever is fine.
but
But eat
overboard. Yeah.
right. So, although my friend Eric Edmeades always says, when people say anything in moderation, he said, "Really? Do you want moderate health?" That was very interesting comment, right? But, you know you listen to all these health podcasts, and take creatine and take this thing and take that
Yeah.
thing, and, and you have to eat blah, blah, blah. And, I think life is to be enjoyed.
Yeah.
But if you believe the way to feel good is to eat, you're not going to eat carrots to feel good,
Yeah.
right? We eat comfort food. And the interesting thing about that is food is not comfort.
Mhm.
Food is food, right? So our
Yes.
beliefs make it feel like it's comfort.
Yeah.
There are people who go out and run 5 miles and go, "Oh my God, I feel amazing."
Yeah.
So food is not comfort. But we have these beliefs that the way to get rid of pain is to eat, because when you were a kid, you were in pain and you ate and you felt good for 5 minutes and you went, "Oh, this is the way to
That's
feel good."
comfort. Mhm.
Yeah. So here's how beliefs get formed. We come into this life and we don't know if we're good enough or not good enough, important or not important. We don't know that there is a thing called mistakes and failures, right? These are arbitrary distinctions. So you come here, and I always say, you come in as a little ball of consciousness.
Mm.
And before you make any distinctions, they don't exist. You don't even know you're separate from your mother. So what happens is you come into this little family. And what is the one-word question every child asks all day long? One-word question.
Why?
Why? Everybody knows that. People with
Why?
kids, people without kids.
Yeah.
Everybody knows that. And kids want three things: affection, attention, and acknowledgement. Okay. I asked that question last night. Everybody said that. I asked my client in Uganda. She said that. Okay. Every child wants affection, attention, and acknowledgement. So if you're not getting acknowledgement and you're getting criticized all the time, as we do as kids, you're going to conclude, why? Why can't I live up to
Mm,
my parents' expectations? Well, I guess I'm not good enough,
mm,
right? Why am I not getting attention? Well, I guess I'm not important.
mm,
And you know, why are my parents fighting all the time? Well, I guess relationships don't work. Why
mm,
does my dad control my mom like that? Well, I guess men have all the power. And you grow up with these beliefs, and guess what? They manifest,
oh
right?
boy.
If you
Yeah.
believe,
Yeah.
or if your dad leaves, you might conclude men leave, or I'm not what men want. Um, Money is scarce and hard to get. Life is hard. That's one of the beliefs when I say to people, "Do you believe life is hard?" Say life is hard. And they go, "Life is hard." Like, what are you talking about? That's the truth, right? There's one belief that very much underlies health issues, not taking care of yourself. And that is the only belief. So, the way that you know you have a belief is you say it, and I'm going to have you do this in a minute, and it doesn't feel good to say it. Okay.
Mm,
Because a belief is just words. And, if you say I'm a monkey, that doesn't feel anything, right?
right.
So we create beliefs based on what happens to us when we get here. Okay. Now, once you
I'm
have
getting
these
nervous. You're gonna ask me. I'm like, oh no, something's gonna come out. I don't know. So I'm just I'm being honest with you. Like you're gonna ask me a question. I'm starting to feel nervous about what is it that I don't know what these beliefs are. So
so
okay, continue.
okay,
I had to tell you what was going on in my head,
thank
my
you.
heart.
Okay. So we form beliefs based on what happens when we get here. Now we
Yeah.
have self-esteem beliefs, right? I'm not important, I'm not good enough, whatever. Now, one day you get acknowledged for grades and goals. You can see I like alliteration. Grades and goals, right? So you conclude what makes me good enough
Yeah.
or what makes me important is achieving things.
Yeah.
Maybe you're in sports and you get applause and everybody's going, oh my God, she's the best. You know,
Yeah.
Now you become a workaholic because if what makes you good enough for your achievements, you have to keep achieving. And if you're a workaholic, guess who's not taking care of their health?
Uh,
You're on the way home, you're stopping for fast food. You tell somebody, go out and get me lunch, and you have a sandwich at your desk. So your health starts to deteriorate. This is if you have the belief you have to work hard to make money. Your
yeah.
parents worked themselves to death. You watched. And the interesting thing is, people who have the belief you have to work hard to make money generally don't make a lot of money. They just
Mm,
work hard. They make money. They make a living. But people who are very, very wealthy mostly don't work hard in a lot of cases. They
yeah.
learned how to staff it out. Richard Branson says, I love to start businesses. I don't like running them.
Yeah.
So he
Yeah.
hires people
Hire
to
a bunch
run
of
his
people.
businesses, and he's on Necker Island having a great time, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
So I'm going to keep bringing this back to health because this is a health podcast, but we have areas of our lives where we're watering them to the detriment of our health.
Yeah. Yeah. it all makes so much sense. And yet here in my 50s, and for many people, they still don't identify with what that belief is that they're holding so tight to.
So again, it's not that belief. It's a lot of beliefs.
Okay.
So we have a program that gets rid of 19 of the most common self-esteem beliefs, including what makes me good enough is having other people think well of me, and
Mm.
including mistakes and failures are bad. It's a great program. It's not expensive, and I'm going to give you an opportunity at the end to eliminate a belief for free. So you will
Okay.
see, because I don't have time to take you through it. But I want everybody take a deep breath. Okay.
Yeah.
Now, if you're able, if you're in a place where you can do this, I want you to say out loud, I'm not good enough.
I'm not good enough.
Now say, I'm a monkey.
I'm a monkey.
Now, the question is, do they feel the same or different?
Hmm. Yeah.
Now, if it didn't feel good to say, I'm not good enough, it's because you have that belief. And let me tell you, standing in front of the mirror, doing affirmations and saying, I'm good enough, I'm good enough, I'm good enough. Number one, the only person who has to do that is somebody who believes they're not. So you're
Right.
reaffirming it.
Right.
Second thing is, here's a belief. So I know most of you aren't watching, but I have a fist in front of me. That belief is I'm not good enough. Okay. Now watch. I'm good enough. I'm good enough. I'm good enough. I'm tapping my fist in all over. You can't put something where there is already something.
Mhm.
So you have to disappear the fist. I'm
Yeah.
not good enough. Now you don't have to stand in front of a mirror. I don't get up in the morning going, I'm good enough. I'm good enough.
Yeah, I never really understood that. I mean, I'm I believe we should, especially for kids, like you tell them certain things that they start to believe, but I've never really understood that whole notion of like just keep telling yourself this thing and it'll change. Like,
It's so
yeah.
silly. It's so silly. And it's exhausting.
It
Even if
is
it's working for
exhausting.
you, who wants to
Yeah.
spend their life doing that?
Yeah. Yeah.
You know? So whether if you look at your life and you say, what's not working? So I always say to people, what do you want to change? Right?
Mhm.
That's my question. What do you want to change? If you're happy, knock yourself out. But look at your life. What do you want to change? Are you taking care of you? I'm not saying to the detriment of your children or your partner or your work, right? Listen, my husband died 10 years ago.
Mm.
I am the people girl. You can put me in front of an audience of 5,000 people. I'm good. Run a business? Are you kidding me? If I gave you a list of 20 things I want to do, that ain't on it.
Mhm.
Okay. So I'm left with this business to run. I had to, and if you bring me back, I'll talk about a whole nother piece of this, which is meaning and emotions, right? So the
Mhm.
meaning I was giving it is, oh my God, I'm going to starve to death. And, meaning, the meaning that you give beliefs, the meaning that you give events cause all your feelings, right? They don't like me. She's going to fire me. Um, uh, all day long, we give meaning, okay? And I'll talk about that in a minute. But going back to my husband dying, I have a business to run. Now, I had to work on certain things. I stepped up, I took over the business. But guess what? I have a belief from my mother that life should be fun, and fun and friends is the most important thing in life. Guess what? I play pickleball 7 days a week, or I'm out with friends. Okay. Last night I spoke in the city. My friend came with me. Everything's going to be fun for me. Right.
Mhm.
So even though I have a business, I make sure that fun is a part of my life. I don't work nights. I don't work weekends. and I have people in every time zone imaginable. I don't work, and I didn't even when I saw clients in person. I have boundaries. Why? Because I have the belief that life's not worth living if you're not having fun.
Yeah.
And I love my work. And again, if you look at your life, what are your beliefs that have you living the life you're
Oh
living?
boy.
And is it
Yeah.
the life you want to live? And
Yeah.
Natalie, you are such a great example of that. You had fame and stardom and all that, and everybody's going, "Oh, you're on television. Oh my goodness,"
Why
right?
would you give that
Feed,
up? Yeah.
feed
Yeah.
the old, and you just got up one day and went, "I don't want to do this.
Yeah.
I just don't."
Yeah.
And
The
guess
world told
what?
me it was a dumb idea.
Oh my God.
Everybody. Yeah. Yeah.
There are people who are making, I had a client who called me and he said, "I'm on the cover of business publications. I'm worth $10 million." In those days, that was a lot of money. It was a long time ago. Um, I
Still a
know
lot of money, but
$10
yeah.
million is still a lot of money, but people laugh when I say that. Um, and he didn't know his kids. His second wife was ready to divorce him. He said, "I keep promising my kids I'm going to come home for their plays and their games, and I never make it. And I'm miserable. I don't take care of myself." And we got rid of his beliefs, and his whole life changed.
We don't know who it was. So what was the belief that what's a typical belief of someone like that living not in their truth?
I'm not important, and what makes me important are my achievements.
Yeah.
And I have to work hard to be successful.
Okay, so I know you've got a whole program in this, but give us a snapshot. How do you get rid of the belief?
Okay. So I want you to imagine you think Natalie doesn't like you. And Natalie and I are standing on the sidewalk, we're talking, and you walk past us, and Natalie doesn't say hello to you.
You build a whole
Would
story about this. Yep, I
Right.
hear this all
And
the time.
wouldn't you say to me, "See, I told you Natalie doesn't like me." It is as if you could see Natalie doesn't like me. Can you see Natalie doesn't like me? Or can you see Natalie walk by you and
Just
not say
walking
hello?
by. Yeah, just
And not
walking
say
by.
hello. We think, okay, so think about Santa Claus. You think, you believe in Santa Claus. Not you think, you believe. There is a Santa Claus. I saw him. He came down my chimney on Christmas. He has a red suit, white beard. One day, this happened to my niece. She was the last of the cousins, and we're all sitting there, and her father, my cousin's husband, walks in, and he goes, "Ho, ho, ho," and she usually screams. And all of a sudden, she goes, "Daddy?" In that moment, she saw Santa Claus wasn't real. She made it up. What happens to your belief in Santa Claus?
Oh, crushed. Yeah.
Gone, but it never comes back. It's gone. When you're a child and you get criticized by
Mm.
your parents, like my father used to say, "What's wrong with you? You don't use your head. You just don't think." He used to make this sound, "Oh,
Mm.
again, you did it," you know.
Mm.
So that was so New York Jew. "Again, you did it." That was my parents, right? So we conclude, we ask why. "I- I'm not good enough. I can't live up to my parents' expectations because I'm not good enough. I don't get A's. I must not be good enough."
Mhm.
And here's the secret sauce. It is as if you saw I'm not good enough.
Mhm.
And it is impossible to not believe something you think you saw.
Yeah.
If somebody said to you, "Shelly's a blonde," you'd say, or if somebody said to you, "Natalie's got black hair," you'd say, "No, she doesn't.
Yeah.
She's a blonde. No, she has black hair." No, because you saw Natalie's hair, blonde
Yeah.
hair.
Right.
So you would not believe, right? Or Natalie doesn't care about people and she doesn't care about health.
Mhm.
No, I saw she does. So it seems like we see our beliefs or saw our beliefs in the world. I saw life was hard. No, you saw your parents struggle. So
Yeah.
listen, everybody listen. This is very important. Anything you could see, so I'm holding up my iPhone, anything you could see has a color, shape, and location. Yes?
Yeah.
Can you see I'm not good enough?
No.
Can you see life is hard?
No.
If you
No.
have a mom who never pays attention to you except when you get sick, it feels like you're seeing the way to get attention is
Yeah.
to get sick. Guess
Yeah.
what? You get sick.
Yeah. Yeah. And you don't even realize you're doing it. Yeah.
And when you get rid of these beliefs and you get, I never saw the way to get attention is to get sick. I saw getting attention when I got sick from my mother when I was little.
Yeah.
And the only place the belief exists is in your
In
mind.
your head.
You
Yep.
made that up.
Yeah. Yeah.
Now, the secret is to get rid of the beliefs that underlie the specific patterns, right?
Yeah.
So um, when you go to, so if you go to at Shelly Lefkoe, Lefkoe, at Shelly Lefkoe, and you write Breakthrough 27 on Instagram, we will send you access to eliminate a belief for free so you can have a sense of how to do it. And then that takes you to a program we call Natural Confidence, which is getting rid of 19 of the most self, you know, the beliefs that really underlie every pattern. In other
Yeah.
words, no matter what you're going to work on, if you ever worked with me or whatever you're going to work on, these beliefs are the most important ones to start with. They're the self-esteem beliefs. Once you get rid of that, now
Mm.
they're not the illness beliefs, but if you get rid of I'm not important,
Yeah.
you'll start taking care of yourself.
Yeah. Yeah.
Maybe. You got to look at and if you ask yourself the question, what would someone believe to not take care of herself, but to take care of others?
Mhm.
Other people are more important than me,
Yeah. Yeah.
you know, and we have those, our parents tell us things like that. If you take care of yourself, you're selfish.
Mm, give me a few examples. Before we started, you were sharing with me, I know you've worked with some high profile people, you've worked with average people, like everybody, so many different people. But give me a few examples that maybe someone can relate to.
Okay. So, God, I have thousands and
I
thousands.
know you do some favors, the big
So
ones.
your health guys. So Mark Hyman, Dr. Mark Hyman, uh,
Love him. Yeah.
love him, love him, love him. So he's my friend, and he came to me, and he was a workaholic, and he shared this on his podcast. So
So you
I
feel you can
so
share his story.
I can share it. So, he came to me and he was a workaholic and he was very, very driven and he was exhausted and his health was suffering and we got rid of beliefs. He had a stepfather who was horrendous, just horrendous. And, he had the same beliefs everybody else has. I'm not important. And, what makes me important is achieving things and helping people. And he was like driven to do that. And now he doesn't feel driven anymore. He took a break for a while. It was very exciting. And now he does what he does out of love, and he only does the things that he loves, but he's no longer driven. He's not proving anything. He doesn't have to do it.
Mm.
It's really about his incredible passion to help people, and he is so passionate about that drives him, not his beliefs.
Yeah.
Um, I had a client who, uh oh God, I'm so afraid to share this.
You don't have to give
I've
any.
had some miracles. I had a client who had MS, who is now not walking with sticks anymore.
Mm.
Um, she got rid of, I can't remember what her beliefs were. Um, I've worked with, I talked about the workaholic. Um, my most exciting client was somebody who was sex trafficked, and she
Uh,
had PTSD, severe, severe. Oh, I will talk about that. She's amazing now. She goes out. She just had a spread in Vanity Fair. She
mm,
did a photo thing at political rally, and she wasn't working. She wasn't functioning, and now I call her Miss Normal. she's she's amazing, and in like 20 sessions. I mean, it wasn't like she was with me for 5 years. That's the thing I love about my work. It's fast. You don't have to sit in
yeah.
therapy for 15 years.
Yeah.
But I do want to talk about this one last thing. Sexual abuse survivors have beliefs, and that can result in eating disorders. It can result in self um, uh, mutilation. It can result in all kinds of
Mm.
things. Okay. So that's my favorite population of people to work with, people who are either incested, raped, or just molested as kids. When you get rid of beliefs like I'm damaged goods, I'm worthless, I'm powerless, it was my fault. I worked with a college student. This is so bizarre. One of my clients said to me, I'm getting divorced. She's very, very wealthy, and it was going to cause a lot of problems. So I'm getting divorced. My daughter, I don't know how she's going to take it. Will you work with her to make sure she's okay? I said, sure. I get on and I look at this kid's face and I said, sweetheart, what happened to you? I mean, I'm working with people for 35 years.
Yeah.
And she looks at me and she goes, my mom doesn't know this, but 2 years ago, I was date raped.
Mm.
And I said, oh my God, what did you conclude? I'm damaged goods. It was my fault, blah, blah, blah. We had 2 sessions. The beliefs went away. And what I get people to see is what happens to you doesn't traumatize you. It is while it's happening, but what traumatizes you is what you conclude about what happened.
Mm.
And it's late in the podcast. I can't talk about this piece. And I hope I can come back and talk about it because I can teach you a way to get rid of negative emotions in the moment by dissolving the meaning we give events. And when you get that meaning is in your mind, it's not in events. Events have no meaning. I don't know anything for sure because you were molested when you were a child. It just happens. And you get rid of the beliefs that you formed. This kid, her whole face cracked and smiled. But I had a woman who was incested for 5 years by her father when she was 5 years, 3 to 12. And when we got rid of the beliefs, she said, Shelly, I feel whole for the first time in my life.
Wow. Yeah, you hold on to these things and you think you can shove them down and just move past it and be strong, but it's just
And
so
eat
deep.
yourself to death.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
Yeah. Oh boy, we could talk forever, couldn't we? But we will have to do another one. I think we will. I think we will. We'll save the negative emotions for another time because it's been
Yeah.
so helpful, so enlightening. And for anyone listening, you might not know you have these beliefs, but really think about it and take that time in what's limiting you. Okay, Shelly, so where can people find you?
Okay. So the first thing is go to Instagram at Shelly Lefkoe. at Shelly Lefkoe, and then type in Breakthrough 27. Okay. You can also, if you're not on Instagram, you can go to lefkoeinstitute.com. And if you want to have a free strategy session, if you sign up on Instagram, you can get that. And if you just want information about us, lefkoeinstitute.com.
Okay. Thank you so much for what you do and all the people you've helped and for taking the time to talk with me today.
You're welcome. It was my joy.
All right. We'll talk again soon.
Okay, thanks. Thanks for listening, everyone.